So yesterday we seen that DML language, data manipulation language to a Salesforce objects. So what are the operations that we have seen so far? Insert, update, upset and delete.
Upset.
Upset and a delete operations. So what we have seen, like when we are doing on the sorry, a list of records or collection of records, if even one is having an issue, a whole transaction will fail or a whole records update will fail. So we have what is the alternative, or like how we can at least make a partial success, even though some of them are having an issue. And I want to proceed with that. And whatever the records that have failed, sorry, that I want to know. What are the option or a workaround we have? So we have a database dot sorry, database class, and database class also provide a all this manipulation operation. That is database dot insert database dot update database dot upset database dot delete. All these operations also we can do. Along with this, we have some more actions also available called database dot merge. So before that, we need to know the background, actually what is merge means, and then convert. We have, so already I gave a background for all this for a DML operation. So what we have seen a main difference was either we can do a partial success. Okay, if it's suppose allowing a partial success, how will I know how many success, how many are failure? If it's failure, what is the reason? Any guess for anyone? How we can read those?
For starters, we need the ID, right?
Okay, ID for a record.
ID of the records which are passed or which were
Okay.
failed to be inserted.
Okay, so let's say I have some, let's say I'm taking the example of insert. So I'm having a list of account, and here I have a list of accounts, and the list of accounts, I assume I have 100 accounts I want to insert. Okay, so out of 100 accounts, there are like five accounts are having an issue. So when I do a database dot insert somehow, database dot insert of account list, usually we have one more parameter. It is an optional, either you can pass it or not pass it. It refer all or none. So if you make it as true, it will exactly behave same as a normal insert. If you make it and if you do not mention also, it will behave same as a normal insert. So if you mention false, that means it is not the all or none. So if they are partial success, it will do a partial success. If it's full success also, it will do a full success. Okay, let's say in this scenario, so I am going to use a false so that if some of them are failing also, I want to proceed with what are getting a success. Fine. Now I want to know what are the um, failed records and what are the success records out of this 100 accounts. How will I know? So you're saying like if in this list when the operation is done, we'll get a ID field. If ID, that means success. If there is no ID, that is a false. Is it right? And then what you're thinking?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's what I was thinking because we get an ID is generated
yeah,
whenever the record is inserted.
right.
So
Okay, good one. And if it is a failed, so there will be no ID. Then what is the error? How will I know? It will be having some error, right? If there is no ID means it's a failure, and I should know what is the error.
hmm.
So what we have was this database dot insert will return a values called a database dot results. Database dot save result, I guess. Save result. Save result equal to this one. So when you are making on this list, you have to make it as a list as well. List of database save result of ACC list results. So that let's say if I have 100 accounts in this one, so this list will have a 100 save result. So we know when we have a list collection, then only we can perform a DML operation, and list collection will maintain the indexing, and whatever the order it is being there, it will be the same order it will maintain across operations, right? Now when we do this insert and copying the result, in which order the records are being used in this list, in the same order we'll be having the results in this list. So if index 0 is the record here, the result will be in the index 0 in the results. Similarly, index 1 record will have result in a index 1 in this list. Okay, are we good so far? Now in this database save result, what we will have, let's say I have only one result. Let's say I have one result. What are the methods I have so that I can know what is a success and what is a failure? That is, when I have one result, I have a method called a is success. Is success method. So it will return true if the um if the record is success, and return false for failure. That is one part. Next, if it is success, what we will get? We will get a record ID. A method called a get ID, or I guess get record ID or get ID. We will see. it will return the ID of the record created. So this will be ID record. Account record ID. This one will be Boolean account success is this one. So we'll get a Boolean value out of it. We'll get a record out of it. So if in case this Boolean is a false, then we will be getting a result dot get errors. Have a method, and this will return a list of errors. So this how we'll get, and we have to loop this one errors and then get the errors. So if you consider this is a result of save result. In save result, we have a method called eSuccess, get ID, and get errors. Using these three methods, we can identify whether it's a success or failure. If it is success, we can get the ID. If it is a false, if success is a false, then we can get the errors. And using these errors, in each we'll have a kind of message we'll be getting in a, like it could be like multiple errors also the possible. So in those case, we'll be having a list of errors. Okay. Are we good so far?
When we say list of errors, do we, I mean, how do we get those list of errors?
Again, so here we have a list, right? What we have to do here was we have to use a for loop. First thing was we have to use a for loop to extract this results. And let's say first one, let's say you have this operation. Okay. So I was explained here about a single value, but actually what we get is a list, right? So how we are getting here was, first of all, we need to initiate the for loop on this account list with the integer I equal to 0 and I as the account list size I plus plus, and then what we had to do here was account each account equal to account list of I. That means this is what a loop variable that we are going to get out of which similarly the database dot result is going to be a results of I. So whichever whatever the index of this list, in the same index we have to get the result. Okay, done. Now you want to know the what happened to it, that success or a failure. how we will know is we'll check if condition over here, and in this dot is success equal to true, then what will get was that I will be knowing the ID over here. So if it is true, then this one. For Boolean value, what will be the other possibility? If it is not true, then it should be obviously false. So I'm directly writing the else condition. So if it is the else, what we will be getting is this one, database dot error of result dot get errors. And how we have to define was here itself. I had to mention something called string is account errors equal to empty. So whenever the loop starts, it will be a blank I'm assigning. And over here, what I will do is I will add the error as a error dot get message like this. So if you have multiple error, then we will list loop on that and we'll add to a single string. And at the end of this loop, we'll get all errors into this one. And after this for loop, if you want to assign the errors to any of the field and you want to capture it, you can do this. Wherever I'm putting a system debug, where you can add your logic. And errors for failure is so and so. Then right over here like this. So this is how we can read it. When you're having a actually using the database dot class, and if you want to know the exactly the what reason it fails, if you success, what all success, if you want to know. But if you not handle any of this, it's just execute without fail. Even though it's having errors also, it will execute. And if you leave as it is, you don't know how many success, how many failure. It's just execute partially. That's it. Okay. Or like if you want to count how many or success, yes, you can do a success count equal to 0. And whenever you have this block getting executed is success, you can run this one so that every time it went into success block, it will increment. And similarly, you can have a fail count as well. Fail count, and you can increment this while you are in the else block. So that after ending of this one, we will know. Success count. The success count. This is how it is. Okay, are we good so far? Okay, just I want to make sure we're using correct syntaxes. So this is the atlas for a Salesforce development documentation. If you have any questions or any not questions, any syntaxes or any keywords that you find and you do not remember, you don't need to check always notes. You can always refer the standard Salesforce guides. These are the standard documentation that Salesforce provide. Here you can go to the each class and there will be a sample code and methods. All they will provide over here. So you can check all the values over here. So I'm looking for a save result class. So we are using the same name, I guess. There it is. Save result. So we're using correct name only, save result, database.save result. And it's having a method called get errors, get ID, is success. This one also right. Get errors, correct. And in get errors, again, we have a array of a database dot error. Okay, now in database dot error, what are the methods that we have? Database dot error. So here we have get message, get status code, and get fields. The status code obviously we will not understand. So get message is obviously what actually the message was. And if you're having any field specific errors, then only we'll be having the data in a get fields. If it is not field specific, then it will be a blank. Basically, we'll be having a three methods in a database dot error one, and you can fetch all those methods. It's an array of one or more field names and which fields of the object, if any affected error conditions, returns the error message text. So this is what most often we use. This is what code of the character. So when you're having a message, it will be having a code, but it's not a useful actually. So we'll be having okay, we can use so we are using get errors here, right? Sorry, inside the error. So we're using a get message method. Along with the get message method, we can use a get fields. Again, it is array. So again, inside we have to use one more for loop, or you can use converting a list to a string directly without using a for loop. Also, we can use then followed by the status code. If you want to use, you can use these as well. Okay, are we good so far?
Yes, sir.
Now, when we having update also, we'll be having a same set. So it could be insert or update. We can use a same result type as a database dot save result. Similarly, the syntax will be instead of update, we'll use for a update. That's it. Remaining everything will be as is. A success or failure, and we'll get a message. But thing was, here ID may not be important for you. Why? Because while you have update, every record will have a ID by default. So this may not be that much useful for you, but this is what actually useful thing is. Success will determine whether record got updated or not. So if it's success, if it's true, then you can consider it as a success, and if it is false, then you can get the error messages. And then when we have upset, we'll be getting a different results. I'm saying a different result. The return type will be not a save result. It will be a upset result. So this upset result will have a different or like additional methods. So here, the methods that we'll get in the upset result was, when I'm saying a method, you know, right, how to use the method. So the variable dot, like this we have to use. So method names, usually what we have is success we have, right? But here, hello, can you guys hear me? Hello.
Yes, Bala.
Okay, so we have a is success method, and then is creator. That means this will differentiate which rows are created newly. If it is a false and giving a success, then means it is not created, it is updated. If returns true, means record is created. If false, means record is updated. Again, this should be in a combination. If is success is false and is created, if you are looking for, it doesn't make any sense. If return true, then success. If return false, means fail. So is success is created. Again, we'll be having a get ID, return the record ID, record, and then we're having a get errors. So get errors will be valid. Return the list of database dot errors if for failed records. So only extra method we have is is created. So again, get errors will be same method as what we get before, exactly the same one. Just have a look whether we having any additional. So you can see that document Salesforce standard documentation. So here, get errors, get ID is created and is success. So additionally, we having only this method, remaining everything is exactly same. Okay, and now we have one more called I don't have, we have a delete, so then we don't need, I guess, maybe. So when you do a delete operation, we have a delete result, and then we have a is success. If not, we have errors. So this will all be same. We this is also exactly a same set only, so nothing much different we have, but only the naming convention is changed. You can use array or list, whichever it is convenient for you. You can use any of those. Okay, now is it clear so far what we have, and the methods are exactly the same that we're going to have for this one as well, but we'll not have a record here. That's it. Other than that, remaining all almost same. Okay. Now, so far we're clear, or any questions we have? Yes, recording about.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now we have a merge and a convert. So before we getting started on the merge and convert, I would like to give a background. So when we use a merge, what actually it means? So merge means merging a duplicate records. Let's say we found there are some duplicate records. Duplicate records in the sense like multiple users are using a system, but somehow you found two records are exactly same, and you don't need two records for in real, but somehow it got created, and at the end you want to fix the data and you want to merge the two records. Sorry. Let's say you have a Jenny point. Is a one account. Somebody got created with the name jennypoint.ltd, or some with a Jenny space point, like that they have created. But actually, the account they're referring to is the same only. But it got duplicate in your Salesforce. Then we have an option to merge the records. When you do a merge, what actually it happens? What actually it happens was when you using this statement called merge, it actually don't do anything. It will not validate whether they are duplicate or not.